That's what makes it a comic. It's like saying which of your children you like better.
Okay, I'll go first. I personally would have to say the art, just because I mean art is understandable whether you can read or not. And so I mean being able to tell a story just through art, and there are lots of stories, multiple stories that are told just through art.
Are we over here?
Yes.
Make sure you have the right name tag.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hello.
So, this panel was changed from 4 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Let's begin.
Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, sorry, we're late. Somebody fill us in on what has happened.
So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure.
Get it.
I'm Shane Houghton. I'm the writer of Reed Gunther. I also write for Peanuts and some Simpsons work. And we ran here a little bit. Thanks to Andrew Adams for texting me. You can't start your own class.
And I'm his brother. I'm Chris. I'm the artist on the series we do, Reed Gunther, and I also do covers for Adventure Time, and I work in and out of animation, and we just started working for the Simpsons comics. Yeah, and thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, so sorry for being late again.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you?
Good question. Okay, yeah. So this is a great question for you guys. Okay, in all comics, all ages comic, what do you think is more important, the art or the writing?
Oh boy. Wait, I know this one. The writing. What? What do you think?
I would say the writing.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think whether it's all 80s comics or no 80s comics,
For dead people.
I think comics are just a very much a collaborative effort as far as art and story. If you've got a great story and art that just doesn't support it and doesn't tell the story in a successful way, it's not going to read very well.
And if you have beautiful art, but a terrible story or a story that doesn't make sense, and you're just going to have beautiful pictures, but to have a really good comic book, it needs to be strong in both. And that doesn't mean that the art has to be like Todd McFarlane, like crazy, lots of detail, lots of lines. It could be simple, like Adventure Time has very little lines, but it's all about, can the art tell the story?
It's very clear.
Yeah, are the expressions clear? Can you have a silent panel, but is it still telling you information? So I think you need to have, they're equal, but the writing is one.
So is the art. Okay, so how about we ask this? We already asked this question sort of us, but how do you guys go about making an getting your ideas for an all ages comic where you're like Reed Gunther? Yeah.
I think ideas come from all over, so it's always a little tough, but I get a lot of my best ideas when I'm driving through really bad traffic, and I just sit there at a light, and I usually play a lot of like movie scores, like epic like How to Train Your Dragon or a Star Trek movie, like some really cool stuff. And that really gets my mind going, but I don't want anything with words, because then I start thinking about what they're saying, and then it gets me off track. So yeah. Then I'll be writing Star Trek, and nobody wants that. So that usually gets my mind going, and then I think driving, especially in bad traffic, really leaves me with nothing to do. So I just sit here, and it's hard because everybody's lives are very busy, and sometimes you need to force yourself to be bored, because that's where your best ideas come from, when you're just kind of dormant and you're just hanging out, you're not watching TV, you're not, doing the dishes is another thing, because it's kind of a mindless task you're just doing as you go along, and then your mind gets to wander. So I get the best ideas then for usually characters, story arcs, things like that. But every once in a while, Chris will come up and say, "Hey, I really want to draw Mummy for the next issue. Can you work that in?" and I always want Chris to be drawing something he likes to be drawing, because then he's happy doing the pages, and I'm happy with what he's drawing. So I usually take suggestions from Chris, but they're usually things like a location or a villain or a character, but not really a story. You know, it doesn't. He never says like, in the second act we should have somebody learn a lesson.
with our series, it's very, because it's an ongoing series. It's not just kind of like a one and done book. So it's very character driven. The characters are very strong. So it's kind of like, you know, what would we like to see Reed and Starla be doing? There was an issue Shane wrote a while back, or actually a few months ago, where Starla has kind of a dilemma. She's our very tough female character, but she's kind of got this soft inside, and she's kind of insecure, and there's some deeper layers to the Starla character. So Shane wrote this great story on her kind of trying to be more feminine, and then having this little bit of an identity crisis, and together with Reed, while they're battling mummies, she figures out that, you know, she is who she is, and that's okay. And
she doesn't have to wear a dress to be ladylike. She can
Right.
just be who she is and be comfortable with that.
And in doing so, that is ladylike.
Yeah.